So immediately off the bat, I'm going to say the sound design for this map is clearly its highest point. When you go into the map, you can feel the ambience, you can feel the terror of being in this insane asylum. And back then you didn't have these intro cinematics, you would have just this loading screen that would provide you with some information to do with the map at the time. Now, Verrückt was one of the first maps to have many functions that you will see in day-to-day zombies now, but they originated from here. And I'll give you an example right now.
I think we need to do something about the power.
So this was the first map ever to have the power switch, which we all know and love. It's not so much in modern zombies these days, but it's one of those things that did carry over for generations of games. And interestingly, when filming this, it's something I've never noticed before. If you look at the power switch, it has these black cables coming off of it that go to all ranges of the map. And I mean it goes to every perk machine, every light source, everything that needs electricity in the map is genuinely connected directly to the power switch. When spawning into Verrückt, there's actually a small feature that I don't think is carried over to any other zombies map, which is that the HUD does not spawn in with you for about 10 to 15 seconds. I think it's meant to lead into feeling isolated, as this map is meant to try and give that feeling. I think it is interesting. And if you want proof this map is meant to try and make you feel isolated, the whole line of power will reunite you comes from the fact that when you spawn in, you are separated by this door. Although if you're in the Black Ops 3 version, you can always use anywhere but here and just spawn in right next to your teammates. But that's a different story. One side of the spawning rooms houses a small little sound Easter egg, where if you hold on this table you'll hear the terrifying screams of a victim that was clearly experimented on. There's no lore connected directly to this, but it was something that the community used to use to try and create the story that we have right now. A lot of the story elements that were built into this game came from fan theories about stuff like this table.
I think DMC is right. It is a bit fishy.
So the obvious one from this map has to go to perk machines. Perks were not in the game before this, being the only second map they had to do some sort of innovation, and perks were the thing that came from that. All 4 perks that were put in the game from this map are still in it right now in Black Ops 7. I don't think it's fair only giving that one win. Obviously there were 4 perks, and Quick Revive is one of the most essential things in zombies at this point, where if you go down you have a chance to come back up. Although if you were playing solo, this would do absolutely nothing in World at War. It was only ever useful in multiplayer to revive your teammates a little bit quicker. And next up we have Juggernog, which has got to be the most infamous perk in all of the zombie series. So infamous, in fact, that when it was removed in Black Ops 4, there was nothing but outrage about how ridiculous it was that it was gone. This perk would take you from the 2 hit limit to 5, which was essential in surviving throughout zombies. Then we have Double Tap, which has a very strange history, where before Black Ops 2, it was considered, you could use it, but it was essentially just rapid fire on a gun. Later on in Black Ops 2, it became Double Tap 2.0, where it'd fire 2 bullets for every single one you fired. And we can't forget Speed Cola, which primary purpose was to reload your weapon quicker, but it did have some additional sides in some other games where you could throw grenades quicker or repair borders a bit quicker, but its primary purpose was just to get you back on your feet and shooting zombies quicker. Although I'm going to give Speed Cola an additional win for the fact that this poster has a slogan that I feel like would make every person in humanity buy it. The third huge innovation that this map added were traps. Traps are a way to have infinite damage on the map at any given moment, temporarily, by spending your points. The additional scorch marks that are left on the ground after using the traps are little details I love also. The map then tried to add visual cues to the map to some extent to try and give you a bit of lore, and in some cases hint at things for the future to come. This wall, for example, says Teddy is the biggest liar, and a picture of a teddy bear, which we know either hints towards Samantha's teddy bear or also Richtofen. 921 references Jeremiah. This is a line that I think fits Verrückt perfectly. It also houses the date for the Shikora meteor event that went over Pennsylvania. Typically in zombies lore, there was always stuff about Element 115 coming straight from a meteorite. Although there's lore surrounding the Element 115 meteorite was not established at Verrückt at this point in time, it's very cool they put an Easter egg towards that in advance. I wouldn't want to meet the developer that decided that this should be put in the map, and I'm sorry to the cleaner of this place, but I don't think newspaper is going to quite mop up all that blood. I know everybody hates bath time, but this is a little bit excessive, I think. Please make sure during a zombie apocalypse that you've definitely got your cheese and your watermelon. And I'm speaking specifically about the Black Ops 3 version here, but I'm really happy that the STG and the MP40 got the wall buys on the wall here. And on the note of the wall buys, on Black Ops 3 there's the bootlegger in this room, but this room is what I'm going to give the additional win for. It's so strange to me that this room is like locked off and hidden away. It's one of the only rooms in zombies that's ever been this way. But every person has tried to at some point survive the hordes in this room knowing there is no way out. It makes no sense. For some strange reason in this game, they decided to change the fountain that was in the center from World at War to Black Ops 3. In this one, you can throw a grenade in it and it'll start bleeding. But for some reason they did keep the original fountain just hidden outside the map. Additionally, and I bought World at War on PC specifically to get this footage, the fountain on World at War actually had a minigun hidden secretly underneath if you got outside the map. I think I can safely say I'm probably not going to wipe with this. They're probably just fun little visual Easter eggs, but I'd love to know the long implications behind the red-eyed zombie and Ultimus Richtofen being a toy in this room. Gone are the days when you didn't need a giant white marker point telling you exactly where to go and you could just follow instructions from a wall. Although I can't help but notice it's quite funny that this map even has markers on the wall that tells you where to go. It's one giant circle and you can only go one way. My God, I hope that's not another 115 clock. This has got to be one of the most disgusting Easter eggs in the game. And I'm not entirely sure if I'm allowed to show this. But I will anyway. I mean, the kitchen is like 10 times worse and I definitely can't show that one. This zombie is quite literally ripping bricks out of a wall. Specifically for Black Ops 3 is that the Wonder Fizz makes a return, but on here, you only have a chance of getting the 3 that are not currently on the map, which is Deadshot, Widow's Wine, and Stamina Up. I'm really hoping no one has ever used this machine as what the sign behind it says. And you can tell that one of the developers for this map really loved the TV show Lost. You go down these stairs and go really close to this window, you'll actually hear this.
4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42.
Which is the string of numbers that needed to be input into the machine in Lost. There is quite literally a sign that says unattended children would be sold to the circus. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure the zombies are more silent on this map too, because I did not hear this guy coming. And although not perfect, they did try and have some historical accuracy with these zombie uniforms. So there are two things I want to discuss in terms of the World at War version of Verrückt. When you turn on the power switch, it initially has this zombie hand, which was a staple throughout zombies for a long time, and I'm not sure why we ever got rid of it. I thought it was cool, and I'm sad that it's gone. And the second thing I want to point out in the World at War version of the map, the sound design on the map was completely different to an extent. Like, turning on this power switch felt that you were actually turning on an entire environment. There were other things, such as when you turn on the power, you'd have this weird music playing. But those are not the only things. When I started this video, I mentioned that the sound design for this map was one of the things I appreciated the most, and I stand by that. There are these creepy screams all over the place like this. Or like squelching sound effects, like someone is being eaten like this. There's ambient noises like the wind coming through to like howl through the facility. Or even these screams that made people genuinely start creating theories about the lore of this place. There were smaller things, like when you ran into like cages or perk machines, they would genuinely make noises of you bumping into them. And honestly, there are so many more that you won't even notice when you're playing, but they are there, and it's what really created the environment of Verrückt. You know what? 10 wins, why not? Now, usually in the videos, I do a segment where the amount of kills a wonder weapon can get will get wins on the counter. But I'm not going to do that with this map because at the end of the day, it is not a reimagining. It's meant to be a remaster, and these extra functions they put in the map, such as the Wonder Waff and the Annihilator, I cannot definitively say these are the wonder weapons for this map. They are just added on as an extra. I will still give it one win at least to say it was nice that they decided to change something into the map and give us something a little bit new. Even if it was old. It'd be a bad pun to say there are two shitty Easter eggs on this map. No, but seriously, depending on how you look at it, this could be seen as one of the first actual interactable Easter eggs in all of Zombies. If you flush this toilet on the far left 3 times, you will hear the first ever Easter egg based music song, which is Lullaby for a Dead Man by Kevin Sherwood and Elena Cycle.
I know when you're sleeping, I know the things you're dreaming. I know when you're sleeping.
Now, this is never something I've touched upon before because I didn't feel like it was necessary to put in the video, but with Verrückt being such a small map and not having too much content behind it, I thought I would look into some other stuff. And this trailer I'm showing you in the background really showed that at the time they really wanted to promote this and make people really feel the energy of zombies. If you've never watched them, I would recommend going over there right now, watching them with the audio included and seeing how great these trailers actually were. And now back to the second shitty Easter egg. For this, they added a special Easter egg to all the Zombie Chronicles maps. It was typically called the Samantha's Lullaby Easter egg. Now, you could only activate this after doing the lullaby for a dead man, and once the music had stopped playing. But then you would need to interact with these 3 toilets and flush them exactly this many times, and in this order. If done correctly, you will not hear the typical flushing sound, you'll only ever hear this. Then you'll have to go and find Samantha next to the Wonder Fizz and interact with her. This will lead to a hide-and-seek chase around the map where you have to find her 5 times, and she can be in any location around the map really. It is all over the place. You will be able to hear her music when you get close, so it's not that difficult to do typically, but they can be in really awkward locations. Once you have found and shot her at all 5 locations around the map, you can go back to the Wonder Fizz and interact with her there. She'll be spinning around and she will give you a max ammo and start playing Samantha's Lullaby the song. By the way, I totally forgot to add this at the beginning of the video, so I need to add it now. This map gets an additional win for being my favourite Zombie Chronicles map out of all of them. That might sound insane to say, but on Black Ops 3 most maps are quite complicated and this one was just simple and I loved the environment. This map was also heavily based off of the Asylum multiplayer map, which is kind of funny because Verrückt has definitely taken it over in infamy and many people would know Verrückt way over this map. And I feel like it's necessary to talk about it, but the lore behind Verrückt is that it was where Peter McCain was experimenting on, and then a famous Marine known as Tank Dempsey came in to try and rescue him with 3 other Marines. This is where Tank officially gets caught and captured by Group 935 and becomes a test subject, and it's something you would later see in maps like Der Eisendrache or Tag der Toten. And the last one I want to give this map is to this cool dude that sat there in a wheelchair with his hat on. This dude just be vibing. And if you enjoyed that video, please consider liking, subscribing, or even just giving a comment about which map you want me to do next.